Welcome to day 7 and game 2 of the Netball World Youth Cup from Gaborone. We're at the University of Botswana Indoor Sports Centre for the next game up today, which is South Africa versus Uganda. This is the second game of the day and the second, 5th to 8th place semi-final. We're about to get the teams lined up on the lines, the sideline, as we see there South Africa in their final preparations about to come onto court. And for the Ugandan side, well, they've put out a good solid warm-up. This is an Africa continent encounter between South Africa and Uganda, and both compete regularly in the African Championships, so there will be an awful lot of rivalry between these two sides. And looking at the squad list on the screen, South Africa, the first starting 7 as follows: wing defence Jacobs, goal defence Reneki, and goalkeeper Raby. The captain is Shaweni and the head coach Dorette Bardenhurst. For Uganda, squad list for you to view, and out of there the starting 7: goal shooter Nalankuma, goal attack Ayaru, wing attack Najuka, centre Adunya, wing defence Nakibule, goal defence Nampungu, and goalkeeper Kayeni. The captain is Joan Nampungu and the coach James Bogeri. Our officials for today, down there courtside, our umpires Kate Stevenson in the middle, and to your right, as you look at the screen, Chakatsa Lepol, and the reserve umpire is Gareth Fowler. So Uganda delivered so many strong performances already in this campaign, and they were in the tight encounter with Botswana and Jamaica in the pool games. So Denise, could be a close one, and as we said, the passion to get this victory when there's a little bit of rivalry means both teams will be probably a little bit shaky at the start of this game.
Yes, I hope this is a thrilling encounter between South Africa and Uganda. They often meet in the African playoffs. So as you can see, South Africa with the green bibs on and Uganda with the red bibs.
Yes, as you look at the court, both teams playing in a gold colour, but the green bibs are those of South Africa, just for you to be able to identify the two teams as South Africa take that early lead and get the early turnover. So that will be 2 with a centre pass to follow for South Africa.
So South Africa goal attack opting for a split lunch lead, and Ventnor, she secures that third goal for South Africa. Uganda yet to score.
So it's a little bit easy for South Africa. Uganda, we know, can put enormous pressure on the ball, so a bit more to do in defence, Uganda. And already just coming up against this tight defensive unit. We've been impressed in commentary with Reneki, the goal defence, and Raby from South Africa, and already putting the pressure on Uganda.
Yes, they read off each other very well. The combination together has often disrupted some of the play of each team that they've come up against. So Uganda have to work very hard to get this ball on the front position. There we can see leading to the circle edge, but struggling and having to put the swing ball in, which is quite dangerous. Long ball in the air. Need to get it a bit shorter and sharper. Mops that one up from the floor. Ups to just bounce again. And that seals one. That's good for Uganda. Gets us off the board.
So 3-1 to South Africa, their centre pass. Not the start Uganda would have wanted, but they've managed to get that goal on the board.
South Africa really moving the ball through very quickly, looking for the quick give and go, or the 1-2s as we might call them in different areas of the world.
So clinical from South Africa in attack, little that Uganda can do. So Nampungu, the goal defence, Kayeni really need to start and mix up, start and look at what the goal attack Venta's doing. She's opening up the circle, playing herself through into a shooting opportunity by using the mid-quarters. So time for Uganda to look at that, address it, otherwise they may find South Africa with a good margin in this first quarter.
Yes, I think South Africa are finding too much space at the moment, or pulling off and getting the front cut, not letting the defence get between the ball carrier and the attacker. That was a better attempt, coming from a slower ball from the pocket to the top from South Africa, looking to reset. First miss from South Africa, but regain possession. Bit tighter defence in the circle. There's a split circle, doubling on the shooter, but a lovely swing of the ball, getting the front position from Lochner.
So good movement in attack. Quickly back, and Uganda, critical time. What can they do in attack? It's a 5-goal margin, but nothing at the moment is stopping South Africa. Reineki, great intercept. And then it's Venta, the dominant goal attack. Yep, she's accurate, mid-range, and she will shoot those all day. It's another South African centre pass. So this game creeping well away from Uganda. And just an error there. So what can Uganda now do?
You can see from the style in attack of Uganda, they tend to get the ball, gather it, look, and then pass. So it's a very slow ball through the court, where South Africa catch, throw, release. Uganda sitting off. They need to get hands up, arms over the ball, really contest, get on the front position.
So Denise, there's just, as you say, there's no pressure, there's no arms over the ball. Is this all about fatigue? Because the space that South Africa have got on a single lead is pretty open and lots of it. So what can Uganda do? Is it the fatigue and there's just nothing that they can give? Or is this just a lack of focus?
Well, they're dropping back. There's a missed pass. That was better arms over. The distribution of the ball from South Africa has been very fast, but Uganda must get on the front position, force some higher balls, some longer balls, giving more chances for them to come off and take ball.
So another disappointment, passage of play for Uganda, and they're about to be punished by Venta, who elects to offload to Lochner, but gets the penalty. So solid performance, South Africa. It's 9 goals to the single goal of Uganda, and not what we've come to expect from this Ugandan side, who've put so much into their netball during this campaign so far, but can't help but think there are some tired legs out there. We've not seen Sarah take to the court, but that's better. Much better.
Much better defence. Wing defence, high arms over, enabling the circle defence to take the ball. Come on, Uganda, get this game on the way.
So Uganda secure goal 2, so it's a 7-goal margin and time surely for them to open up the court, get more service and more opportunities, but again just that costly error.
Yeah, more energy needs to be used by the Uganda team, often caught flat-footed, giving footwork errors, passing errors. Need to lift their game, get into contests with this South African team. When there's no contest, no pressure on the shot, gives an easy one for the South African goal shooter Lochner. And there we see penetration to the post, uncontested, Anita.
Just can't stay with the South Africans, so it's the timing as well as the speed, and I just sense Uganda, they're missing Sarah, the goal shooter, and they do look fatigued. And for anyone out there following this campaign, we've got, as reported, over 1 million viewers. Help us to try and get the 2 million. It's great that you've all joined this live stream as we watch this 5th to 8th place semi-final. Not the game we expected. Uganda slow out of the blocks, but it's South Africa that just are dominating.
Yeah, we got a lot of lively South African legs pushing up, putting the mid-court zone on to great effect. And we've not got much response at the moment from Uganda. Be very disappointed in the African nations. Look at the cheering out there for South Africa.
So crowd again enjoying the netball. We know that next up is Botswana, and we will surely be filling the seats with the locals. It's a holiday in Botswana today as we see Uganda make some changes. And as soon as we get those changes in commentary, we'll give you the names.
A clip there of Scotland just doing some analysis. Let's hope the coaches' calls and these changes get a little bit more intensity to the Ugandan team.
So pretty sure that's Sarah that's entered the court for Uganda at goal shooter. We see one of our young spectators, not yet animated, waking up, but saving all their energy for the Botswana game.
So 11-goal lead at the moment to South Africa. Uganda have got the red stripes down the side of their gold dresses. South Africa have the green bibs. So here we go. Let's see if we can get this in, close down the gap. A lot of pressure being put on at every stage of the defending, 1, 2 and 3. That's great vision to shoot her under the post.
So another goal in as Uganda ring the changes in the shooting circle, but it's a 10-goal margin that South Africa have opened up, and we've seen 10-goal margins before in the last 2 days, and the team who get the margin have often gone on to win with such a high score from the first quarter. So Uganda, let's see if they can resurrect that and close the gap as we move into the final minutes of quarter one.
Yeah, we seem to have a lot of slow legs out there, waiting to hit some forward space, Uganda. So we get the ball moving through the court. That's a better front cut. We know the African nations will often work the ball through, using the width and the depth, and often taking it back into each third. And that's a bit more lively. Looking for a response. Arms over, South Africa. Good 2-on-1 with the circle defense from South Africa. So Uganda get an easy penalty in there. Need this shot. Yep, and they nail it. That's good for them. Slowly coming back.
So changes helped in the shooting circle for Uganda. The experience of Sarah. But again, South Africa just destroy, don't they, in that mid-court?
Yeah, they put pressure on. Every move at the moment. Uganda really being forced to make some basic errors, footwork errors, passing errors. Oh, superb movement and timing for the South African team. They're certainly swift this morning on day 7.
So the clock counts down. We've seen a timeout, so our clock won't be the accurate one. We'll go with the clock on the competition floor. So under 2 minutes to go, and it's South Africa 15, Uganda 4. Not the result anyone was expecting in this crowd. Can only say it must account or go back to Uganda to rethink, but there's some fatigue out there.
Yeah, coach will certainly want to start strong with a starting 7. Obviously, right, the subs she's brought on have actually been a bit more lively, a bit more adrenaline, right, coursing the ball through. There you can see the frustration from the Ugandan coaching team.
So James Bugera, the coach for Uganda, he's got a big, tall order to try and bring this team back together, to reconnect and try and actually do something to disrupt this fluent South African side, as Lochner secures goal number 17. Another timeout by the wing defence, and she must leave the court, so a new wing defence must come onto court, and it looks like there's not a player ready, so got to be quick, get themselves on court in the 30 seconds. So managed it. Uganda on the attack.
I'll have to be quick on this one. Yep, that's a great vision. Let's get it in. Close up this game, Uganda. We like thrilling entertainment here at the Botswana Gaborone Centre.
So this is game 2, and it's at the University of Botswana Indoor Sports Centre as South Africa comfortably watch this game. The coaches will be pleased. Dorette Badenhurst incredibly pleased so far, and that's Kate Stevenson, the umpire, calling time on this, the first quarter. It's a very, very healthy scoreline. 18 goals to South Africa. A mere 5 to Uganda. Not the game anyone was expecting. So what can James Bugera do to lift his Ugandan squad? We'll be back with the second quarter as we leave you with the highlights of that first 15 minutes, and the quality performances really do side with South Africa.
I'm only living life to the fullest. I can see the difference. I'm improving day in and day out. I'm doing the most from the team. Logo to Copello. Kalija Parana Buta Paranek. Chava Chava Poa Aditivanek. Gabuera Hurupa Jago Tupek. Like a Saliman. Wabukuwe. Naguarana, Peruarana, victory shall come. Tuzarana, Sonarana, victory shall come.
We're moving, we are rising high. Pushing boundaries, we are soaring high. Victory, victory, victory is in our blood. Victory, victory, victory is in our blood. It's the time of the year, and we at it again. Just believe that you can become whatever you see in your head. The time is now, we can never look back. When the going is out, when we top it back. Come to when you should never lose that. So fell up in little top, but you relax.
What's on my thoughts in double bar? The Rafi, Abba Fasi, but then the boy.
Welcome back as the teams are both ready to start the next 15 minutes. Our umpires, Kate Stevenson and Chikatsa Lepol, getting ready. And here we go. And look at that World Cup ball provided by Gilbert. Superb, fancy design to mark this inaugural Netball World Youth Cup.
Still too easy. Circle defense, not getting on the front of the players, forcing any errors, forcing them wide, forcing them to change direction. We need Uganda to lift their game. Pull a little bit of space. That's better build up.
So getting the scoreline up to 20, it is a 15-goal margin, and really disappointed to see the performance of Uganda. But we talk a lot about the preparations for competitions like this, day in, day out matches, just one rest day, and where your rest day falls can actually be really influential. But preparations, Uganda at times struggle for resources to support netball. They give their best, but it's a strong 12-month programme at least to build and be ready to cope with the physicality and the fitness demands of a week long and more competition, Denise.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it just looks like the endurance of the Ugandan team is just not there at the moment. That ability to put out speed, agility, right? second after second, hour after hour. We are on to our 53rd match of this tournament. So these teams just need to dig deep, right? Learn from it. They don't sometimes have the science support behind them. So here we go, South Africa taking this lead, putting and keeping the pressure.
So to confirm, Sarah did enter the game, a goal shooter for Uganda. A change at centre, Adunya to the bench. Kizza is on court in that position. And at wing defence, Nakibule, she's off and Adunya enters. So changes for Uganda. A 16-goal margin has developed in what must surely be going and heading to a convincing win for South Africa. Not a lot Uganda can do, the odd goal creeping in. South Africa powering on.
That was good, that held the ball a little bit. A few more centimetres needed on that elevation from goalkeeper. Credit to South Africa, right? They're quickly onto any ball, dropping into space, moving up, putting arms over, disrupting the flow of the pass from Uganda. Now we can see some good front one-on-one positioning from the wing defence from South Africa, enabling an easy take.
Yes, good work, Jacob. She's tracking well on the wing attack. Najuka from Uganda. So all of the defensive line from South Africa keeping tight, not letting any space open up at the moment for the Ugandan side, but that's a better take. That's the goal defence. Nampungu.
Yeah, much better body positioning, able to run up, jump high, take that ball, and a good outlet. Now this is the problem that Uganda are having. They're mid-court. As I just say that, they move the ball, distribute it across to the non-ball side. But that step in perhaps of the goal shooter, the African step in of the shooter's style, I think South Africa got their arms up and ready. Right, circle defence, get it again. Come on, Uganda.
So a tussle going on in the circle. Sarah with Raby. So good contest. Better ball in from the centre. Kizza finds Sarah. So goal in for Uganda. Still a long way to go if they're going to match up to this consistent display of netball from South Africa.
Yes, Uganda just struggling because what South Africa are doing, especially in the mid-court, is dropping off the ball carrier to stop the straight line ball going speedily through the court for Uganda. But we're getting there. So 6-4 at the moment to South Africa in this second quarter. Much better start by the Ugandan team. As you can see, we're contesting now. Circle defense just need to turn to sight the goal shooter and be able to go back and up for that high lob. It has to be contested. Put some pressure on the goal shooter. See if they can disrupt her vision, get that arm up and over. Have a little chew at it, as we say. So South Africa really crowding the space in front of the ball, making it difficult for Uganda to see where they might put it. We're very close together, need to use the width a little bit. That's a good drive in the circle from the shooters. Much better work. Yep.
So
There we go.
there's a crowd. Mexican wave starting, trying to get it going. Come on, girls, bit harder than that.
I think it's a day of holiday in Botswana, Anita.
Determined to see a full arena Mexican wave. So we've said it to the presentation team. Let's see when the Botswana locals come in on this their holiday for the next game up, which is Botswana against Samoa in that 9th to 12th place semi-final.
Very impressed with Knockner's performance on this playoff day. 100% so far, shooting accuracy. A real threat to Uganda.
So Chikatsa Lepol, the umpire, just tidying up in there, and it's a South Africa centre pass again. 15 goals the difference, not the scoreline anyone expected. Great vision. That ball pops over to Venter. You've talked about Lochner, Denise, but Venter, she's a playmaker as well. She opens up an awful lot of options in that attacking end.
Yeah, and it's good to see the South African shooters sharing the shooting load. It's not all about a one-shot person. They both will take the shot on. That's a great shot. That takes it to 9-7. Much better performance from the Ugandan team. As you can see, getting a lot of tips and good from position. Fortunately, strong arms of Lochner pulls it in. Great smile on her face for that one. You tend to smile when you have the lead. Winners are grinners here in South Africa. Right, are trying to hold on to this lead. Uganda really putting a lot more pressure on the pressure over the ball, forcing some errors. Cool as ice, Lochner. 8 out of 8 so far.
So if you're tuned in and looking at placings and starting to think about where your nation might be finishing, this game, it's South Africa, Uganda playing for 5th to 8th place. So it's classed as a semi-final. The winners obviously will be crossing over to face other opponents. So it's South Africa, Uganda, Scotland and Jamaica that are all actually vying for that 5th to 8th spot. So we've seen Jamaica beat Scotland, and the winners of this game will be up against the losers of the other. So crossover days and time to really move to the business end. And as we see the semi-final playing off now to 5th to 8th, Botswana, Samoa, they're playing in the 9th to 12th place semi-final. So all to play for. And just to confirm, a change at wing attack for Uganda. Fauzia Nakibuli, often seen in the wing defence position, is now playing wing attack.
Superb front marking by Reniki from South Africa on the goal defence. Great angle to see both ball and player coming through the line of the ball for a great turnover. Leaving it for Ventnor to convert. Opts to put the bounce in for Cool As We Can. Lochner goes into a 9th goal of this quarter. 9 out of 9 so far. That's much better resetting to the transverse line for Uganda. You can see the heavy 2-on-1 on the goal shooter from Uganda, forcing an error on the feed. So that long lob that we often see with a tall shooter, right, it's not going in easily for them, putting them under pressure to make error.
So just to confirm what happens in the next stages, we've talked about this being a semi-final. We know the 4 teams playing out for 5th to 8th. So Jamaica, they were the winners of the previous game, and they will come up against the winners of this game between South Africa and Uganda, and that will mean and decide the 5th and 6th place. So at this stage it looks like it will be Jamaica versus South Africa for 5th and 6th, and then the losers of each of the games, the previous game, so Scotland were the losers. At the moment it will be Scotland against Uganda playing for 7th and 8th. But it's a big margin. We've seen African nations fight back. Anything is possible. So if you've seen any of this netball campaign so far on the live stream, you'll know that second half performances can often cause a little bit of disruption, and we're still behind Uganda. It is a massive 20-goal margin, but this team will continue in their quest to close the gap. But again, timed out. So let's see, can Uganda just push ahead as we move into the final minute of this quarter 2? I'm just not going in favour of Uganda. They're struggling to break through the line. It's been an impressive South African display. And Lochner secures another accurate shot. So we move into half time. We've said it's not the score that we expected, really witnessing a bit of fatigue from Uganda. Time for James Bagheera just to look at whether he does make any more changes. South Africa 34, Uganda 13. So 30 minutes of netball left. The scores can reverse. It is a big upward climb for Uganda, but we'll be back to see whether they can put any more pressure on this clinical South African 7 on court. So join us in 10 minutes for the second half in this, the second game of day 7.
I'm only living life to the fullest. I can see the difference. I'm improving day in and day out. I'm doing the most from the team. Victory shall come.
When you're moving, when you're rising high, pushing by.
tlala bona bagaka bannete bomme ba kopanetse mabaleng ke lethabo mono wa ga merafeng re kapile ka mebala re phela ka bothata jwa bomme ba kopanetse mabaleng diphadisano tsa ditšhaba mabaleng go tswa mafatshe ka bophara merafe ya bapala Botswana, go mafatsheng ka bolo ya toga re se le gola ka salane mo gaborone mo Botswana go mafatsheng ka bolo ya toga re se le gola ka salane mo gaborone mo Botswana go mafatsheng ka bolo ya toga re se le gola ka salane mo gaborone mo Botswana go mafatsheng ka bolo ya toga re se le gola ka salane mo gaborone mo Botswana go mafatsheng ka bolo ya toga re se le gola ka salane mo gaborone mo Botswana go mafatsheng ka bolo ya toga re se le gola ka salane mo gaborone mo Botswana go mafatsheng ka bolo ya toga re se le gola ka salane mo gaborone mo Botswana go mafatsheng ka bolo ya toga re se le gola ka salane tsana di kala gago amogela pelo le tloeng yele 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 tšhoba di bolotse ba ga ka batla tshuba dio ala ba tshabana ga re ba tshabe ra ba batla yele 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 ala ba tshabana ga re ba tshabe ra ba batla
Welcome back to the third quarter of this, the game between South Africa and Uganda. It's been a one-way stream towards the goal of Jamaica. Sorry, the goal of South Africa as we move into a massive margin. 34 goals South Africa, 13 Uganda. And Denise, it's a big ask for a comeback, and we know we've talked about fatigue and the Ugandan side. What do you expect?
Well, it certainly is. We had a disappointing start with an 18-5 first quarter. I thought Uganda brought it to South Africa, actually closed the gap a little bit to 16-8 in the second quarter. But it's a very, very big ask. The preparation that Uganda have had over to South Africa, who, as we know internationally, run like a machine. They're very, very fit athletes. The services that are provided with Uganda are in a development stage.
Yeah, so Sarah gets the ball there as the goalkeeper. Siegelmeyer goes hunting, and to confirm the South African changes for quarter three, Shangi moves to wing attack, Shawane from wing attack to centre, Rineki at wing defence, Raby goal defence, Siegelmeyer comes on at goalkeeper. So South Africa ringing the changes, probably electing to rest a few legs as they look likely to be winners, but we've still got 29 minutes of netball.
As you can see from the changes, it looks as if South Africa have great depth. Their back line have changed. Some of them playing in three positions, going from goalkeeper to goal defence to wing defence and vice versa. That shows great depth, great confidence, three playing positions. It's what every nation would like. A little bit of a collision there. Early knock. Some attention needed. Remember the 30-second ruling for a timeout. Sometimes very difficult when a player's hurt. But there we see great courage from Shawani, the captain from South Africa. Quickly replaced. And the game goes on, and that's good front defence from Uganda.
So electing to use the width, trying to cope with the pressure, but timed out again. So it is an intensive line of defence for South Africa that Uganda really just can't break through. So just to remind everybody, it is Jamaica, Scotland, Uganda and South Africa that are playing out for positions and placings, final placings 5 to 8 in this, the Netball World Youth Cup. So Jamaica beating Scotland, they've secured a place in the 5th and 6th place game. And as it stands, it would be Jamaica versus South Africa, but we've still got time on the clock, and looks like the South African player Shawane just receiving some attention from the primary carer at the side of the court.
And the primary carers, physios, doctors, they play a very important part in the recovery preparation to make sure there's 12 athletes ready and fit to take the court at this 9-day championship.
And again, just that unforced error of footwork creeping in from the centre. But there we go. How good is that? The schools are in. We said it would start to fill up a little bit more. This is a national holiday here in Botswana. Schools out, so we're expecting the young crowds in, and so many schools have been into this event. Some have adopted one of the nations, they've learnt about the country, and they've equally got to know the players. So it's a big shout out to all of the players that have made the effort to meet their teams from the schools. We saw some in New Zealand kit yesterday. We've seen the Australians on social media meeting some of the locals. And it's just been one fantastic event here where the community have got involved. Sport, netball is most definitely on the map here in Botswana, and it's likely to inspire individuals like these who just love this game.
The great thing that I've seen from the supporters from Botswana, it is a real family occasion. It's not only girls watching girls, women watching women, right? We have a great contingency of male support out there with some great dance moves as well.
Yes, we're loving the dance moves. They can really strut the stuff here in Botswana. And if you want to see them in full action, it's a bit like Botswana's Got Talent when these guys get going with their home nation, Botswana. So if you want to check it out, it's the 2 o'clock game. It's next up after this one, and it's against Samoa. So to confirm the South African change at centre, Shawini went to the bench. She looks okay, just received some treatment. And we see Amiraz come back on in that centre spot as well for South Africa.
So 6 minutes gone in this third quarter playoff game. Seeing the score, 4 to Uganda, 3 to South Africa. So first time in any quarter that the Ugandans have taken the lead. Can this be the bit of spurt that they need? So the South African flags are coming out and lots of other things. A little bit cheeky there. And why not? South Africa 38, Uganda 17. You always look at the Ugandan bench. In Africa, it is their winter. They all have their hats and overcoats on. And lots of us from the Northern Hemisphere still in shorts and T-shirts.
Yes, it's such a mismatch in clothing, isn't it? They're freezing and we're saying we love the Botswana sun. Fantastic nation getting right behind this, the inaugural Netball World Youth Cup.
Very serious discussion going on there. A couple of South African officials in the crowds. Spectators complimenting that long ball in. They do like that. Great vision needed from the feeders to see that shooter moving to the post. So Uganda, different format. Shooter leading out rather than staying in the circle. Trying to beat this off-mark zone by South Africa circle defenders. So 6-all in this quarter. Both teams staying competitive. Yep, Uganda, a lot of slow ball out there. And the centre, Amira's capitalising on it from South Africa. But that's better defence. Looking straight down from Uganda.
So into the hands of the goal defence. Raby and South Africa fast on the transition. So scoreline 42 goals to South Africa, 19 to Uganda. Good swing of the ball from South Africa, finding Venter on the penalty. So Lochner, she mops up, and that's another goal on the board. So Uganda, come on, get yourselves back into this game. We've seen some fantastic netball from the Ugandans. Can't help but think it's tiredness, fatigue. But they're just trying to break through this defensive pressure of South Africa.
Umpire watching very closely at the contest between goal shooter and goalkeeper. Both vying for position. Goal shooter deemed to have caused the contact on the keeper. That's much better swinging of the ball for Uganda to get the front position. Securing an easy shot under the post. Can't but feel that South Africa's physical conditioning is of a higher level. Sometimes Uganda just about putting into a walking pace. That's a better long ball into the forward space. And then we deem to go across again. Better forward penetration, but as we can see, great defense. That offhand work. Oh, great. Look at that.
So we see that there's a sending off by the Ugandan goal shooter. So disappointing there. So the umpire's been trying to tidy up there, and just frustration creeping in for Sarah. So she's got the 3 minutes out there sat courtside. So Uganda down to 6, and she'll be disappointed. South Africa still powering on in that strong defensive line, as we see. So Uganda trying to keep possession. It's 1 against 2 in the circle. Sarah, the goal shooter, send off for 3 minutes. So what can Ayaru do? The goal attack, and there we see.
So the goal attack, because of the shooter sending off, opted to go and sit in the circle. But what you get then is a 2-on-1. So making it much harder for our centre court players of wing attack and centre. An awful lot of leg work that they put in. So struggling to bring it through into that attacking third. There you can see the goal attack sitting back, waiting to get the ball through. A better option might be if she did some leads out and got on the move to be able to penetrate the double marking of the South African circle defenders.
And it will be a great achievement if Uganda can get a goal. They've retained possession for a good minute and a half, and she can. So that's great fight from the goal attack, Ayaru. 2 against 1. Uganda retain the possession. While ever they've got the ball, they're stopping South Africa extend this lead. So countdown to the end of the third quarter. It's a great lead developing for South Africa. 43 goals against Uganda's 21.
That was a crafty little offload to the goal shooter by BenDan, bringing the scoreline in this quarter to 10-8.
And there goes time for the third quarter. So Uganda finished there with 6 players on court. South Africa, they're in the lead by 44 goals to 21. There is still 15 minutes of netball, and a convincing first quarter really did give the confidence to South Africa. That quarter, it was a 10-8 scoreline, so not a bad one for Uganda, but they're on the uphill climb to catch this 44 goal lead of South Africa. So we'll be back in a few minutes. We'll leave you with the highlights of this quarter 3 and the second game on day 7.
I'm only living life to the fullest. I can see the difference. I'm improving day in and day out. I'm doing the most from the team. Logo to Copello. Kalija Parana Buta Paranik. Chava Chava Poa Aditivanek. Gabuera Hurupa Jago Tubek. Gagesaliman. Wabukuwe. Naguarana, Peruarana, victory shall come. Tuzarana, Shonarana, victory shall come.
Pushing boundaries, we are soaring high. Victory, victory, victory is in our blood. Victory, victory, victory is in our blood.
We are now heading on to the fourth and final quarter. South Africa 44, Uganda 21.
Welcome back to the final quarter. It's South Africa up against Uganda as we view the Netball World Youth Cup ball designed by Gilbert. It's special, it marks this inaugural competition, and it will be seen by many around the globe as we wait for our umpires to take us into this final 15 minutes. Kate Stevenson and Chikatsa Lepal. So tough day out on court for Uganda, Denise.
Yeah, it certainly is. Give them credit. They came back that scoreline, 2 difference, 10-8 to South Africa. So they did keep themselves in the game, but that half-time score from South Africa really cemented what might be happening for the rest of this game. So let's just take each quarter. I'm sure the subs coming on for Uganda will do their very best to keep getting this ball to their shooters, servicing them well against a very well-built tactical lineup of the circle defense. And there's the first goal for Uganda.
So some changes to report to you for this, the final quarter, and it's
So a warning being given from the umpire to the centre.
so South African changes. Brandt goes to goalkeeper, Shawane centre, Raby goes to goal, Ziegelmeyer at goal defence, Twainey at goal attack, and Retief at goal shooter. So playing their full squad, South Africa today, given this convincing lead going into quarter 4.
So that's 2-0 by Uganda in this last quarter. Could this be a late flourish? We've got a lot to do. Got a lot of turnover. Got to keep possession from their own centre pass. That's 3-0. Oh, seem to have a lift in the game. Here's a reply to settle the nerves, and it's bobbling off the ring. We get a penalty. And it dribbles in. 3 goals to Uganda, 1 to South Africa in this last quarter. Great work. Much better work by the shooters. 1 to the top, 1 to the post. Spectators wear all the outfits. Some good hats there. Much better defense, front line position. Unfortunately, a little bit of contact in there. But the commitment to the ball, that's good to see. Goal attack takes her first goal, Twani. So South Africa exposing more of their players.
So this being one of the games in the placings of 1 to 8. And as mentioned, this is the 5th to 8th place playoff. There is a player of the match for each of these games where the top 8 are actually on court, and that is proudly sponsored by Spar Supermarkets, which will be announced at the end of this game. In addition, there will be a player of the World Youth Cup, and that will be an overall player awarded a prize on the final day in the medal ceremony. So that has been teams nominating an opponent from the match and all matches that they've played in. So lots to look out for, and you might be starting to think who you might choose for that player for this game and for the whole of this, the Netball World Youth Cup campaign.
So 5-2. Uganda lead this quarter. Have they got a lot of legs, a lot of physical energy left to bring this gap closer and closer? We're down to 20 now. Good to see more movement from Uganda in attack and defence. And there you see the shooter from South Africa. That forward and back movement, which is very, very hard to defend. They do it to great effect.
So goal creeps in. Sarah's back on the court. It's a lot. 20 goals with just 9 minutes plus to play, Denise.
Yes, it certainly is. It's good that the coaches are using their full squad, but I think Uganda, they've had some players just offer a little bit of rest and they've come on a little bit more revitalised in this end third. Sometimes when the gap is so big, it just releases the pressure a little bit. So they're starting to play their own game, playing it around, right, using the width, using the straight line ball. They can see the out and in. Good work to get the ball to the front of the shooters.
So Uganda claw one back as we see the changes for South Africa. Shooter change, Retief leaves and Lochner returns.
Yep, 7-3 lead that is for Uganda, so coach is just a little bit wary there. Putting her top goal shooter on, Lochner, who's performed extremely well in this World Youth Cup.
Good offload there from the Ugandan goal attack. Ayaru finds Sarah. And we've witnessed some fantastic performances from Uganda. They'll need to think about that recovery and how they actually come back as they will move into a game against Scotland. And we know Scotland put up a good fight against Jamaica. They play some clinical netball, so back to the drawing board it will be for Uganda as we see South Africa net another goal to take them to 48 goals, Uganda 29.
So the umpire opting to talk to the goal defence. I think it was about not releasing the ball quick enough, taking the ball with her. It's good. Players need to keep the spirit of the game. They have to know the rules and abide by them.
So Kate Stevenson spoken to the goal defence, the on-court captain, and the Ugandan players are all gathering round. Umpire giving time for them, the words to come out, and the captain just to pass on the information. And our take on that in commentary, Denise, is really to probably calm down. The frustration is set in from Uganda, and that's just getting the niggly contacts out there, some disruption to the game.
Yes, certainly. Sometimes it happens. It's only because the players are trying their very, very best. They've got a big ask on, but it's a good one that the umpire will talk to the captain. The captain then is allowed to speak to the team.
Yes, and when that ruling was in about speaking, sometimes the umpires didn't always give time. They'd speak to the captain, but didn't always give time for that to be relayed. And it's great to see the protocols of the umpires at this Netball World Youth Cup setting a great example. They're under tremendous pressure running the lines for each of these games. Really impressed with what we've seen. So Uganda, can they get to the 30 mark? not able to on that occasion, but managed to get the quick turnover.
And South Africa have made a lot of changes not only to their starting lineup, but the switching of players around, and sometimes that stops the timing and the spatial awareness that we want. And that South Africa came out like Flash Gordon, didn't they, that first quarter? The speed of the ball and the speed of the moment was superb.
And our supporters eagerly looking on, some serious faces, what it means to some of these players being on court, what it means to the parents and all of those supporting. Well, you know, everyone knows it's a great honour to represent your country, and South Africans and the Ugandan supporters appreciating the netball in this game, but it really has been one-way traffic to the goal of South Africa. Some great performances, court linkage from Lochner and Venter in the first half. We see Lochner back on court with Twainey at goal attack to finish. And we're moving into the final 5 minutes of this quarter. Remember, the next game up at 2 o'clock is Botswana against Samoa. And you'll know the crowd volume is increasing, the songs are starting, the dancing is already out there. So we'll be following that game on the live stream as we've been doing throughout this competition. Live streaming brought to you with a partnership between Botswana Television and QTV Sports, and connecting so well with all of you around the globe as we look to lift up the numbers on the live stream. Spread the word, stay in touch with us on Twitter, NWYC 2017, and our commentary take on the other hashtag. Denise, we're going to bring that one to you. It is hashtag Rabatsa.
With some interesting information to give our spectators. Whenever we have a Botswana game and the game's over and we're all travelling back to our different hotels, the atmosphere out on the street is absolutely amazing. They're beeping their horns, they're doing the hashtag Ribatsa all over town.
Yes, we've loved it. We've got into the local culture of Botswana in the city of Gaborone. The local people are just something special. You've got to be here, you've seen it on the screens, but it's a beautiful country and the people have done themselves proud. They've put on a fantastic Netball World Youth Cup and we absolutely love the spirit. So we'll be remembering our hashtags as we move forwards. There'll be one that sticks very closely in the minds of most, and it is written on the court for you and said by many.
And often they have a roll of their R's, Anita.
They do indeed.
Hashtag Rabatsa.
We've been trying to get the applause from the directors in the broadcast unit and the cameras, so we got a big grin from the cameraman and we've got a little bit of a clap in the broadcasting truck. So we're pleased as we see there the South Africans high-fiving. They've put out a fantastic game of netball, and Uganda, well, we wish them well. We want to see better from them as they play and will play, no doubt, Scotland. So supporters of South Africa eagerly looking on.
Yeah, they'll be pleased with the South African performance this morning on our day 7. It seems as if they've used all of their squad, but the lightning start that they got off to has really shown a great performance against this Ugandan team. So there it goes to Lochner, a real stalwart. Right, steady Eddie, and she puts that ball in as if it was effortlessly.
So out there we've seen the South African supporters, the Ugandans out there in the crowd a little bit more subdued, and I think they'll be looking ahead and just hoping that Uganda can recover and put out a fine display against Scotland. They will finish in the top 8. They are proud of that, we know, and they take great pride in their standard of netball, so they'll be looking to ensure that they come back to this, the main court at the University of Botswana Indoor Sports Centre, as we move into the final minute of this game 2 on day 7.
Full scoreline, South Africa 58-35, and this last minute they're still cruising forward in top gear, trying to get more scores on the doors.
So there we go, that's the end of this game. Flags are flying for South Africa, rounds of applause from everybody in the crowd enjoying the netball. It's a disappointing day out on court for Uganda, but we know they'll be back. They'll take the recovery, they need to just rest and really come back firing for their game against Scotland. There will be a player of the match announcement surely, and we'll stay there just to welcome that player onto court. It's been, as we said, a clinical day of netball, an hour of netball from South Africa, and credit to them. They've gained real momentum through this competition as they congratulate the player of the match, Lochner, the goal shooter from South Africa. And there she is on the court as we leave you with the highlights of this, the second game. We'll be back for game 3. It's Botswana versus Samoa at 2 p.m.
It's the time of the year, and we at it again. Just believe that you can become whatever you see in your head. The time is now, we can never look back. When the going is out, when we top it back. Go on to win, you should never lose that. So fell up in little top, but you relax.
Kutoma fati ngababa, rafi ababa, abafazi batalabon, bahaga bangit, bomne bakupaniti mabali. Kilitabo mono wa kamerafe, rekapile kameba, repila kabota, shabomne bakupaniti mabali. Paisano talichaba mabali. Kutoma fati ngababa, rafi ababala.
wela ka tselentseng jalo motshameko e leng gore no kopantse jalo setlhopha sa South Africa against sona setlhopha sa Uganda re bona setlhopha sa South Africa ba fenya jalo setlhopha sa Uganda